Stand to my quarters and welcome back to another episode of RogueTech as we continue the campaigns of Howl's Harrows. And last time, well, the Burner Boy has been torching his way through just about everything we throw at him. It has really made me think that base assaults and base captures are actually a heck of a lot more doable than otherwise before. I have in the past sort of tried to avoid them a little bit because turrets are terrifying. However, now that we know that the Burner Boy can basically cut his way through turrets and he is incredibly quick, I'm thinking that maybe these missions aren't so bad. Now, I'm still not all that in favor of doing base defense missions purely out of the fact that the AI companions right now are pretty dumb as rocks and I'd like to avoid them, but for the attacking show, hey, this seems to be good. And with that in mind, manufacturing facility. We've recently discovered that the local pirate organization has reactivated an old manufacturing facility in this system. To maintain the balance of power in this system, the Federated Suns need to capture the facility. You'll make a surgical strike, occupy the base, and hold it until Davian forces can arrive to take control. This will be a 4 of 17 priority salvage, 405,200 Seabills at 2.5 skulls, and let us rock and roll. So this and one more mission is probably the only thing we're going to be taking on this planet before we move on out. Not sure where yet, haven't really decided on that. However, we've basically run this planet dry of most of the missions that I have interest in taking, and so we will probably move to other places. We have also identified a mortar technical. So with that in mind, we will be heading out to another planet. There will hopefully be a new and interesting biome, although, you know, you never quite know. We may end up going to another place that is all tundra and whatever the rest, or tundra and mountainous, although I will try and avoid mountainous terrain just a little bit, because it seems for some reason to often break the spawning system for some reason. But hey, it's not the worst thing in the world. Anyway, we have, of course, as usual, Jester driving the Burner Boy. It's kind of become his regular ride, which is a bit weird, because you'd think Jester would be someone who'd be a little less reckless. Paradox driving the Wolverine, which has proven to be a fairly decent mech. Howl in the Gladiator, which is probably the best mech in the company at the moment. Sort of a mini Black Knight with a whole bunch of firepower. Paladin in the Shadehawk, which is alright, despite what some people have to say about mono-weapon mechs. Mockingbird driving the Hammer with its MML-10s and the medium lasers. Coach driving the Javelin. Finn in the Kitsutsuki. And, of course, Death Crusade in the Hachi. So, now that that introduction is out of the way, forgot to do it earlier, let's just run as fast as we can, see if we can't get within range of, well, everything. I will attempt to jump because I think that'll get me the furthest forward, and we want the Shadehawk moving rather quickly and aggressively. The only disappointment I have about the Shadehawk is the fact that it does not actually have a Gauss rifle that it shows up on the one arm when you field it. It is kind of sad. It just goes into battle without weapons entirely. So rush everybody on forward, get as fast as you can towards the enemy, and once you hit them like a truck. Well, trucks tend to be rather excellent to use. 0.9%, not going to have a chance with that one because it doesn't seem to be good enough. We are kind of grouped together, which gives us the maximum electronic countermeasure defense that we could possibly ask for. A jump will actually get us a little bit further, so I will start bouncing on ahead. We'll also brace up. We're in the water. We're not going to generate any heat, and as long as we brace at the end of the movement, it's actually not going to penalize us for any sort of actual instabilities on that one, and since there's nothing in range anyway, we may as well get the defense bonus to go with it. We have identified a Hunchback 4SP. That's not a party back, is it? No, that's 2 SRM 6s and like 4 medium lasers, something like that. Reinforcements apparently already on the way, so that is a bit unfortunate. Are you exactly what I think you are? You don't have a hunch full of stuff, so yeah, I think you may actually be the, it's like 2 or 4 medium lasers and 2 SRM 6s. It's probably one of the worst versions of the Hunchback I've seen, but maybe I'm speaking a bit too soon and we'll find out that it has some sort of phenomenal firepower. Oh, we have a shot. Lovely. It's only a 29. I'm going to rapid 4. We managed to get 2 good hits on that. As long as you didn't jam the gun, I will be a happy camper. And you didn't. Lovely. Alright, so we already have the first damage going down from the rear rotary autocannon. It is a phenomenally interesting piece of equipment. I can't say that it's great, but it's interesting. That's its key thing at the moment. The Hammer can continue sprinting on forward. We could shoot at a couple of targets. 21% is actually not terrible. And we'll let it rip. I mean, yeah, it's not great because the MMLs have a chance of jamming, but hey, let's give him a little bit of a rein to let him understand that he is now under fire and he may want to reconsider what he's doing. So incoming counterattack, a couple of missiles, doesn't look like any of them actually managed to connect on us, which is lovely. Hopefully they're not using mines, otherwise that could get ugly pretty gosh darn quick. Do another bounce on forward, that'll give us an obstructed line of sight, 33%, not going to take it, we'll brace up, and that'll get rid of the last of that, and he will now actually probably be in a practical range sometime soon. If we hopped, it would be less range because the Hachi lost most of its jump jets, and we decided to put more guns on it rather than make it fly. It's an interesting mech, but come on, we already have one urban mech, which is pretty memey in terms of actually being able to fly, and at the end of the day, it's actually not all that great. We're gonna have to do something about it. I don't know what, but I have to rip that thing apart and put it back together. What it really desperately needs is a heavy large laser. If I could mount a heavy large laser onto the Usagi, that would make it totally viable. Because we have, in the other campaign, Apollo's Vipers, which we play on Wednesdays and Saturdays at 5 o'clock on twitch.tv/Tarek117. Promise I won't show again today. We've noticed that a single heavy large laser is more than sufficient to be absurdly good. Alright, so we're going to move on over here, 46%. And we missed, unfortunately. Would have been a breaching shot, would have been really cool, but I think I might actually be able to dive on top of him with a couple of units. So we might be able to kill this Hunchback before any sort of reinforcements can arrive, and that would be lovely. We have an Arctic Wolf surging on forward, so we want to take care of things hopefully rather quickly. I will sprint on forward to try and get a little... can I walk on forward to get that same range? I got a little bit closer, but not much. And if I want to get up on the hill, I got to go over to here. I'm going to move all the way out here just so I'm in a position for next turn. We have okay chances to hit. I'm going to fire everything because it doesn't generate much heat. Missed with both of the PPCs, but the missiles did all right. So not the worst in the world. Actually, no, that was pretty gosh darn terrible. Both PPCs missing on that one is probably the worst case scenario because it would have stunned him, made it so he was much more vulnerable to incoming fire. Instead, you know, nothing actually ended up happening. As the enemy prepares to continue to move forward, this Arctic Wolf probably going to be a target of ours. I don't anticipate it's going to be super dangerous. It is a kit fox in terms of what it actually looks like. I don't know if that matters at all to anybody. But that is the thoughts that we have moving forward. Okay, that should be its minimum range, which is a 38%. We'll do rapid fire 4 again. Decent amount of hits on that one. And as long as, again, he didn't jam the gun, then we'll be pretty happy. No jamming on the gun. Okay, so we're still continuing to be able to blitz fairly decently on that one. I'm going to shift the Javelin on forward. Need to be wary of the dropship, which is going to drop nearby. And you know what? Let's rockets. Fire the rockets. Structure exposed and target acquired to go along with it. So now we have some really good pain that we can send his way. The Hachi probably not going to get in range, but the Burner Boy probably could do some really interesting work. I would rather not use the jump jets, and I don't have to. Okay, so we don't need to use the jump jets to get this move down, and this will put us in range to barbecue everything. And plus 43 hits, so a couple of the flamers managed to hit, not a ton of them, but that's partially because we had to move pretty fast in a very short period of time. I'm going to sprint and get as close as we can with the Artemis because they're not particularly accurate long-range missiles. It's not worth the shot, so we're going to save on that one. Paradox in the Wolverine is kind of explicitly designed for this sort of thing. Like, this is his bread and butter, is long-range fire support. So if I just fired from here, it'd be a 23% chance. That's obviously not great. I'm wondering why he's so well protected. Actually does have me a little bit curious as to what's actually going on. I will sprint on forward up to the mountain and turn off the SRMs. Just double tap, and we managed to hit him with one of them, which did break one of his heat sinks. He is not unsteady yet, but he's pretty gosh darn close. Unfortunately, I believe that'll be the last. Nope, we still have Mockingbird left to go at 15 with a whole bunch of missiles, which would make him unsteady. So long as we get the move in first, we'll be able to make the mech unsteady, which will slow it down, which allows us to get a little bit of backup on it, but it's not going to be all that significant. Mortar technical, off in the distance, not able to really accomplish much. Firing a couple of mortars. And damage all around, and managing to shatter several of the buildings of the actual base we're attempting to steal. So, a little less than ideal, I suppose, but hey, we're going to have to work with it, because I would imagine that we're trying to take it. LRMs, 18, SRMs, also 18, which is rather interesting. Actually, I'm wondering, why are our chances to hit? It's got to be a sensor check. We must have failed a sensor check at some point along the line, so we're just going to rush on in, get as close as we can, short range, and fire everything. I just want to make him unsteady. Or, you know, we could tear off his entire right torso. I'm not sure how we accomplished it, but it's been done. So he's lost most of his things at this point. Not terrible. But yeah, it looks like a couple of medium lasers and some SRM6s. He's going to shoot back at the hammer. Did a little bit of damage to the mech. The hammer is fairly light, but hey, it does a fairly decent job. He's heat critical, ammunition explosion avoided, so he's still alive, but probably not for long. It'd be nice to steal a Hunchback, but I'm not going to invest that much effort into a Hunchback anymore. Oh, we've got some jamming going on. SRM's down, let's nail the Ripper. And we did manage to hit the Ripper, so that's going well. If I can get Mockingbird in range of that Ripper as well, although one of my MMLs unfortunately is now jammed. This is extra ungood. Target with SAM launchers. Yeah, there's a chance, and he's low on health, so fire. I got another couple of hits, but nothing too serious just yet. We will attempt to lock that down. I could bring the javelin on in, and that's all dropship dangerous. Okay, I was expecting mines or something. I'm not super worried about the mortar technical or the Arctic cheetah, but this Ripper does appear to be the center of his own little jamming field that I want to remove from the equation. So we're going to dart right on in over here through the dropship field and just lay on into him with everything we've got. And there we go. A good medium laser shot managed to cut in through the structure, and that should hopefully break away any sort of jamming that is actually protecting the enemy at this point. The Kitsutsuki is a bit of a long-range fire support platform, not designed for closer range engagements. Do you have a line of sight? You do not. Can I get a line of sight in a range that will, one, have a non-obstructed line of sight, and two, be at a good range? Hopefully this will be at 70%. Let's ramp the fire rate up to 5, because once you hit 6, it drops a full 5% accuracy, and we're not quite at the level where I want to risk out. Fire away. Oh, all 5 managed to hit. The pilot is feeling a little bit stressed. He's having some cooling problems as we've critted that. I do want to check. Where's Kitsutsuki? Gun is still rolling. I love the fact that the gun is still rolling. That's the biggest takeaway on this one. He only has a gunnery of 6 at the moment, too, so he's not really affecting the jam chance all that much if the flat jam chance still exists. We're going to rush right on up to him and see if we can't get the Hachi to do some dead fire damage. So we lost a little bit of accuracy, but then managed to drastically increase the damage, and that'll be a full-on knockdown. Hunchback is going down. Onto his back, that's going to be pilot health of 3 of 4? Can't be. Apparently it is. He didn't take any damage from that ammunition explosion. Must have been able to avoid it. The Shadehawk isn't going to be in a great position to follow up on this, purely because the Shadehawk is really more designed, again, as a long-range fire support platform, and he doesn't really have a target. We're going to still fire at the distance, missed by -2%. Again, breaking physics. That I don't like it when that happens. Not because it's like the worst thing in the world. We had a 17% chance to hit that. No, I don't like it because it's breaking physics. It's not. There's something about the number generator that says that, but still, it seems really odd to me. Mortar Technical zipping around at fairly high speed, going to continue to try and shell things, managing to bomb himself a little bit, but also hit the javelin with one of the rounds, so that's not ideal. Jester can, well, Jester can do many things. I could go for him. I'm not going to. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hang out right here just to light him on all the fire. I'm going to go for headshots to extra panic him, because pilots don't like... Yep, that's what I was hoping for. Pilots tend to panic when their mech is on fire, so we've got about 4 parts to a hunchback out of that one, which unfortunately I sold the falling debris, which would have allowed me to build that hunchback, but still, not the worst thing in the world, just not exactly great. Shut off the MMLs and fire the snubs. 2 misses on the snubs by -4 and -2. Again, I don't know quite how the percentages are being calculated on that one. And the reinforcements have arrived somewhere. So where is the pirate reinforcements off? No line of sight just yet. So hopefully we'll be able to cut through these guys and wipe them out before they can actually have a major effect. We have managed to... Oh no, they're right in our back. Okay, we have a Louse, which I believe is a 15-ton flea, designed for fire support, as you can see. It's actually meant for riot control, and it's made by a friend of the channel, Glass, who basically came up with the idea. It's quite interesting. Looks like we have an entire light lance popped in behind us. Are those light rifles that he's shooting me in the back with? So we need to wheel and shoot really quick, because this could end tragically very soon if we don't get a handle on that. Although that looks like an internal combustion engine. Yeah, this Locust has an internal combustion engine on him. He's got a smokestack. And we also have a Neko cage. Well, whatever it is, it just managed to sensor lock my entire company. So that could be a little bit of a bad thing. Do we know what you are? Are you? You can't be. It is, it's a Shadow Cat. Oh, Neko Kage. Right, I got it. Okay, so we've got a Hero Shadow Cat on the field, and a Phoenix Hawk. Not too worried about the Phoenix Hawk, I'm completely honest, but the Neko Kage needs to die. Not for any major reason other than I want its parts, and I don't think I have any Shadow Hawks. Hi, buddy. Ooh, that's really, really terrible. I'm just gonna shoot at you with everything. If I shoot you enough times, maybe I will make you revealed. He is now cooking a little bit, which is somewhat good. The Shadehawk is a fire support platform, and therefore not particularly good at attempting to fight people at close in range. I would like to shoot at you, because if I did, I'd probably kill you, but no, we're going to fight the enemy who presents himself. 46% according to this. That stays at 46%. And nailed that left arm. Unfortunately, we didn't manage to hit anything on the main torso. That probably would have killed him in one shot. Unfortunately, it did not. So his arm is mostly gone. That helps out a little bit. I don't know. Oh, I know how. I should have turned the Gladiator over to an electronic warfare. Javelin's going to take a little bit more mortar shell, although it looks like the enemy managed to miss entirely and probably bombed itself, so the Javelin should be okay just there. You have an Angel ECM, which I'm going to set to electronic countermeasure. So you're going to be super aggressive about this, and you're basically going to get on top of the enemy and make them regret ever being born. Because you're fairly good at that, actually. I mean, once I can get some good accuracy, only 27% is not exactly great, but hey, I've got a lot of fire, and maybe that'll be enough. Plus 31, okay, pushing him over the heat threshold a bit more, which he's already, you know, up there, so that helps. Do you have, you do not, okay. So point-blank range shooting is not exactly what you excel at. By not exactly, I mean not at all, so please avoid. Could shoot at the Phoenix Hawk. There's also the Locust back there. We'll shift you over there to engage those guys. 64, 26 actually on the Locust, so I will engage you with the Rapid Fire 5. And at least 2 shots hit, 20% damage reduction because he was bracing himself a little bit. The gun is now jammed, so we're going to start using sensor locks on everybody. The Hachi, on the other hand, can move right on in here. I'm going to ignore the Louse for a bit, just because I don't think it's going to be... Well, it's okay, because it has the ability to make me mostly blind. But if I can remove the Neko Kage out of the fight, then I can take care of things fairly quickly. Alright, so Wolverine should actually be in a fairly decent position to do stuff from where he is, because he's sort of on top of the mountain already, and that's exactly sort of his job, is high up long range fire support. 31, 54, 27. Twin ballistic, your machine... Oh, you're a Phoenix Hawk 1, so... large laser, 2 medium lasers, and 2 machine guns is what he's currently packing. He will cook himself pretty badly if he just keeps trying to fight too much. The Locust is a pair of periphery rifles, which deal about 20, a little less than 20 damage, but still is a bit of a problem. You, on the other hand, twin energy, twin missiles, don't know what that is, but it is a pirate version of the Shadowhawk. Fire down to the cover, and hopefully we don't manage to hit any of our friends. Mockingbird in the hammer can actually... Oh, one of the guns is jammed, but we were about to end your entire career, my friend. In fact, we may still do it, because plus 25 heat from the Inferno, that's a little bit not as good as I would have liked, but hey, we'll take what we can get at the moment. The Javelin, I suppose, can keep trying to hunt the people up here, because... no other reason than I want them dead, or, you know, we could come all the way down here. I could just go for full electronic countermeasure to really try to mess with things. I don't want to get too close to things, unfortunately, because otherwise we might just get totally jammed. ECM protection going down. I'm going to shoot the Louse. If I can just get a couple of hits on it, which it managed to miss every single one of them, I can keep it from being able to splash all of my people, which is the current concern that it's going to do. If it fires its smoke and chaff launchers into everybody's face, we'll all be blind, and combine that with the Neko Kage, and we're going to have a little bit of trouble. Alright, back to the top. Jester. Let's make sure this person can't stop us. Burn. Hopefully a few more hits. Plus 17. That was really bad. That was like 2. 2 of them actually managed to get hits. We'll zip in and zip out. We're still providing the anti-jamming field, or whatever you want to call it. And target you, 34. You're up to 60. 34. Hey, we got some good hits on. Still not made it unsteady just yet, but we will get there eventually. The Javelin... do I have a counter jamming? I do. Let's go full electronic countermeasure on this one and make sure that he is not able to sufficiently stop us from seeing the entirety of the universe. Because, come on, dude, you weren't that fast. Fire everything. Good hits on. That one did not manage to get the tag, which kind of was the one thing I really wanted to make sure we hit with. Because if that tag had managed to hit, he'd be in a lot of trouble. So, some good missiles on there, and the unsteady result. Okay, that's good. So now we slip on back, we spread out, so the left doesn't have a concentrated target. Paladin coming in with the Shadehawk. We are anti-jamming hard at this point. So we've got the anti-jam going down. We've got quite a bit of fire. He's no longer evasive. That's a 90% chance to hit. Make it happen. Come on. I'm not sure if I should be saddened or impressed. He missed the 90 and blew up the torso of the Locust behind it. Good job, Shade. Good job, Paladin and the Shadehawk. That was kind of everything I suppose I ever should have expected. Unfortunately, the Neko Kage is not going to be able to move. He's going coop. Oh, he's got full radical heat sinks. We're going to have to keep this sucker burning. Right, so he didn't move. Our goal is to keep this guy on all the fire, so let's make sure he stays on all the fire. I kind of want to mess with you as much as possible. And head destroyed. Oh no, he ejected. That's a Shadow Cat. That's a full Shadow Cat right there. That's, well, it's Pirate Clan Tech, but it's full Clan Tech. Alright, so we don't have a gun on this one, so what we can do, on the other hand, is we can lay down the sensor lock. So sensor lock is a phenomenal ability that allows me to basically pick one person and say, hey, you're screwed, man. So I'm going to lock onto you. I mean, you're already cooking a little bit, but you are currently the biggest threat, and I'll pull in a little bit of distance. So the Kitsutsuki's still waiting for its gun to unjam, and rack 2 unjammed. So the gun's going to be ready to rock and roll as soon as we start the next turn. So he didn't like just having to play electronic countermeasure, but I actually do really like that dynamic. The fact that Finn has the ability to lay down the sensor locks when the gun is jammed, and when the gun is not jammed, we get to run that sucker fast. Looks like the louse is going for a kick, which, gonna be honest, wouldn't have done it, but hey, if that's your plan, then that's your plan. Oh, but he then got to... I'm not sure why it fired from over here, but apparently those are point defense weapons that he got to nuke everybody. Okay, so never mind. Fairly good decision. I, however, am going to run right up on top of the Shadowhawk and say, hi, buddy. I used to drive one of you. I don't anymore because I picked up one of these. Twin PPCs. There we go. Getting all the hits on in. Tore off his left arm. Not the arm I should have been focusing on. I should have gone for the other one because the other one is the arm with the large laser. Now, he's in the middle of water, in the middle of a tundra, and yes, we cooked him a little bit, but I don't think we're going to be able to control him via heat on this map. A little bit more incoming fire on the Wolverine, which some hits, nothing too serious, and it did start a little bit of a fire. But again, nothing too serious. Oh, I'm so happy we managed to get that. That's 5 pieces, and I think this was a 5, wasn't this a 5 of 21? I thought it was, maybe not. It's a decent number. We might have a chance of being able to grab it, because if we can get a Shadowhawk, or not a Shadowhawk, a Shadow Cat. 1, it's a clan mech. 2, it's a clan mech we've never used before and looks cool. Shadow Cats look awesome. And 3, it's a 45 tonner, or is it a 40 tonner? It's in the 40 ton-ish range, between the 40 and 50 ton bracket. So, you know, not the most amazing mech ever that we would ever want, but it's cool, at least in my opinion. All right, so we're gonna run up right behind this buddy. Hi. Oh, no, never mind. Maybe not you. Do you have a line of sight on you? You do. Fire. Good hit on target. Breaching shot to go along with it. We'll just continue to shift over in order to keep the lance nice and spread out. Finn! Finn, do you have a shot? You not, because you're facing the wrong direction. But if you got right up close and personal on the back of the louse, could you theoretically kill it? Oh, never mind. It's Finn. For some reason, I thought Finn was driving the whatchamacallit, the javelin. And he is obviously not. Turn that gun back on. Yeah, that's my minimum range I gotta work with. It's a fairly large minimum range because this gun is designed for long-ish range fire support. So, can I get a line of sight on you? I can. It's an 89% chance. You don't. Say, let's run this sucker at max burst. 6 rounds, all coming your way. Just filling him full of lead. All 6 rounds actually managed to hit, too. So, did you manage to jam the gun on that? Because if you did, I'm not going to blame you. No, he didn't. He just ran that sucker for the full 6 and did not jam that gun. That is impressive. Yeah, we're just going to keep fire on the Phoenix Hawk as we continue. Even more autocannon rounds, more missiles going in. I'm kind of surprised he's not taking more stability damage, but then I just remembered that, oh yeah, he stood still and he also braced. Both of our MMLs currently offline, but we're just going to start digging on through. There goes the left torso, engine crits, and an injury to the pilot. So we're going to shift on slightly over to the side. I'm not all that worried about him. I'll pull back a little bit just in order to not get too easily flanked by him. MMLs have unjammed, or at least both of them did, so we will be able to hit with the full might and force of everything we've got. Now we've got the javelin. Just run him up right here. We should have reasonably good accuracy, and please remove the louse. Oh, do so without hurting the burner boy, please. That would be ideal. Alright, Mockingbird in the hammer. Mockingbird might actually be able to get some interesting things done with her MMLs, so let's just line them up again and burn. And we blew it up. We lit it on fire, and we tore it apart. So now we're down to just the louse, and of course the locust off over here, who is missing half of the mech. And then there's still a periphery vehicle truck over there that I'm not all that concerned about. I'm just gonna rush in behind you. Hi, my buddy. You're a mech that doesn't often have to deal with lots of heat. Welcome to the party. Oh, plus 80 heat. Heat is critical. Heat is a bad thing for him to have to deal with it now. And if he doesn't have a double heatsink kit, he's gonna be in a bit of trouble. So I'm probably actually going to go for the mech. Like, that Shadow Cat could have a lot of interesting stuff. More mortar shells, dancing all over the place, but doesn't look like much managed to connect. A little bit on the Wolverine, but nothing serious. But yeah, managing to take that mech pretty fully intact is kind of a big deal. Hi, Louse, you're, well, you're dead, because I have dead fires. Oh yeah, there was just no way that that mech was going to survive at that point. So sorry, Glass, but your mech is dead. It's an interesting mech. It's definitely designed to be a little bit more thematic than effective, but hey, as a support mech, it's not terrible. And when you stop to think about it, the AI gets the best support mechs because the AI has basically infinite numbers. You are limited. Now, this is a little bit alleviated in the most recent version, well, in our version of the game where we have 8 full mechs that we can field, but still, really, these sort of fire support roles much more favor the AI. Oh, good hits. Managing to wipe that out. We got the dropship. Please tell me nobody was there. That looked like the Wolverine was there for a moment. But no, okay. So far, okay, nobody died. Always makes me a little bit worried when that happens because I have actually accidentally, on occasion, been in a position where I got crushed. It was an accident. It was at the very end of the mission, but yeah, we had I believe Ronan was driving it in one of our previous campaigns, and she got, well, trounced on. Fire 4 shots. I wasn't expecting anything to hit anything, so that's why we ramped it down to 4, because 4 is a less chance of jamming on us. Really, what's going to get this guy is we're just going to bounce on forward, run at him with the Burner Boy, and eventually catch up to him, because Burner Boy can basically run up this mountain, no trouble. So tag firing away, not able to connect. Howl is going to start making her own way up the mountain. There's only 2 targets left on the map. I'm really surprised that Arctic Wolf decided not to really get involved for the entire battle. Just sort of held back nice and defensively, and I don't think it worked out for him. Because by not coming for us, he basically placed himself in a position where now he's all alone, and we have everybody. So yeah, bit of a mistake on his part to not be involved in the full battle, and we are still counter jamming basically everybody. The Shadehawk can start taking pot shots because it has a gas rifle. Oh, wow. The Shadehawk managed to nail that shot. Good job on that one. So we've destroyed the mortar carrier, and now we've just got that Arctic Wolf. So the moment we find him, we're going to basically kill him. I don't think he has much of a chance. And the MML's unjammed, so the hammer is at full torching capability. So wherever this Arctic Wolf is, we can murder it, and I think it's somewhere down here. So everybody, let's just move on forward. I do want to take it down. I also want to get the cash bonus for killing everybody, which is kind of the reason we're really going in on this one. We got to make sure that nobody got out of this one alive, because if they didn't, we get monies. Yes, we've identified the Arctic Wolf off in the corner. Shouldn't be all that hard to kill, although that can be famous last words, depending on who you are. We'll just run up the mountain. We'll come at him from all angles so he has nowhere to run. Have Coach make the follow-up on this one, sprinting on forward in his javelin, having to get up that mountain. Oh, he only walked. Whoops, bit of a mistake on my part. The hammer does not have a oh yeah, because they're set to SRM mode, set them to LRM mode, and the hammer might actually have a shot. So Mockingbird 6.2, we may as well fire. I mean, there's nothing stopping us. I mean, the weapons could jam, but a little bit of damage onto him so he understands. Hey, buddy, surrender. Unfortunately, the AI doesn't know. Well, no, that's not true. I was about to say the AI doesn't know how to surrender, but they do because we see them eject, which, you know, that's a lot of fun to be able to do. Just force them to bail out of the target. Bird Boy is going to. Can you run over there faster? You cannot, so he's just going to fly on over. You might even be able to lock him down just with flamers. It would be rather hilarious. And brace up. That'll get rid of all of his instability and also give him a little bit of damage protection when all hell starts to break loose. I think I want to run the Hati over here so it can be up close and personal. It'll brawl with the enemy, and that'll put us in a nice position. Are you going to come which direction? Either way, I've got you boxed, buddy. You're either going to come up over here by the mediums or down over here by the torching mech. He's going to run towards the torching mech. So it's making my life a little bit more difficult than it otherwise needs to be. Pirate PPC's on the way. Fabulous, apparently. What does that even mean? Oh, he's got black carapace. Interesting. He has self-healing armor. That's not a... It's a terrifying piece of equipment that is, well, interesting. And that was another thing that kind of helped write the description for, I think. So... his armor will continually heal itself until I start blowing major holes in it by destroying his structure. So if at all possible, we would like to not core this guy, just so I can steal his stuff. Also, if at all possible, there's really kind of no point in firing the MMLs at him. Jester, can you just get on top of him and start making him regret ever existing? That would be ideal. So we're just going to avoid standing into the middle of the cookers, and we will start the cooking. Only need a couple of hits in order to push him over the line. Only one hit. Oh, we needed a little bit more, not gonna lie. I can get a side angle shot. I saw it. You can't stop. Oh, you already have it. So you can shoot it at a 23%. May as well. Did get a single hit on him. I doubt that's actually going to have any major effect moving forward. Going to take some cover behind some buildings, break line of sight entirely. He'll have to come in if he wants to take it. But I highly, highly encourage you to come right here so I can just focus all hell on you. But he's definitely working to try and avoid my force. He's going to get pinned, though, if he keeps it up. All right, so the Hachi is going to be able to chase him down on this one. So again, we don't want to core him. We want to kill him in other ways. Deadfires? No thank you. I'd like the Artemis for the additional accuracy because we kind of need it. Fire, I think, see if we can't break his stealth. Although, how do you have stealth and the Black Carapace? Aren't they kind of mutually exclusive? At least I thought they were. Because they should both be armors. Alright, long range fire support, only at 23%. Didn't manage to connect. We weren't really expecting it to, but this is going to have to suffice until I can get other mechs in nice and close. Shade Hawk. Coming in forward with the Paladin. We're at close range, which is only a 30%. Oh, but does not care. Black Carapace apparently has been destroyed. And also the PPZ. So there's that. It's a little disappointing, honestly, because stealing that PPZ would have been interesting. A fun weapon that apparently inflicts the fabulous status effect. Pair of PPCs going on down. One actually managed to hit, so sensors are impaired. He will be less accurate moving forward. Finn in the Kitsutsuki, you can now come out of, cover and just start laying into him. You've got a fairly brilliant shot here. Can I go up? I can't go up to all 6, but I can go up to 5. And good hits on that. Jump jets have been destroyed. He's having a bit of a bad day now. Hopefully we can make him stressed so that when we light him on all the fire, he will have an even worse day. 25. No connection. But that's okay, because what we're going to do after this is we're going to jump... Oh, yeah, the Wolverine doesn't have shooting. Good. It's one of the few mechs we have that doesn't. You, in the hammer, you're going to long-range strike him. It's only... His sensor breaking locks is actually really good. So he didn't move as fast, but he still has a phenomenal setup when it comes to his defensive systems in terms of electronics. So I wanted to try and inflict as much damage to him as I possibly could before I then rushed in with the Burna Boy, because hopefully Jester is going to be able to light this guy totally on fire and make the pilot bail, like he did the last time. Plus 42 heat, the pilot is feeling somewhat unsettled. And Howl's up again?
What's up, boss?
I didn't realize we were... Fire the twin 33s. And missing by 29 and 47, which is fairly significant. So no actual chance to manage to connect on that one, and we need to find a way down from this one. This may be entirely Jester's show. I don't think I'm going to have a way of being able to do anything about this. I remember, we did take the jump chest off the Javelin, didn't we? So just going to rush on in here. This will give Death Crusade a chance to fire even more missiles into him. Okay, engine crits, so come on, be unsteady, be the unsteady. Not quite. That's unfortunate because now Jester doesn't get... Oh, Jester's not up, so it's the Shadehawk. Just keep firing. Missed by 24, unfortunate. Had I gotten a little bit closer, I might have been able to increase that a bit, but honestly, I'm probably just going to rely on other mechs in order to take care of it, because we should have... Oh, nope, enemy phase is up. How does he wish to respond? Hopefully with panic and ejection. Gonna fire at point blank range, but not able to connect, so Jester's Burna Boy completely untouched, and he is cool in flushing. Shutdown override successful, but he wasn't able to actually get it under... Oh, come on, Darius, seriously? Oh, force ended the mission. We had him. He was gonna be ours. That's rather irritating. I kinda wanted to steal his Black Carapace, just in order to, like, have an auto-repair armor, and that would have been so cool. Plus 324,230 prestige, not terrible. That'll put us over 1 million, which should actually get us situated in terms of monthly payout. Let's see. Don't care, don't care. Hi! This is what I care about. So it's a Shadowcat that got looted. Give me all the things. Because I might still have the Shadowcat. Okay, let's see the equipment though. We have an ERPPC Pirate. Applies ECM jamming of -1 evade, and so -1. So the jamming of 1 ignores an evasion pip. The damage varies between plus and minus 15, so it'll either do 45 to 75. 75 is not terrible. I mean, that's a lot of damage on a weapon. I can't say this light because it's 8 tons, but still. Weapon does heat and stability down, fall off at 40%, -1 accuracy on the weapon, and the recoil at 3. That kind of makes it really hard to use. Large lasers, I think we're good at. Yeah, we have 5. I don't want grenade launchers because they're mostly worthless. We used one for a short period of time and didn't really feel much of the love. The light tag is not terrible. Light tags are really good because they only weigh half a ton and they give you tags. MML2 or MML5 is not worth it compared to risk MMLs. Plus, we have a couple of them. Mortar 2s are too small. Small X pulses are fun and interesting, but I'm not going to risk it. Composites are terrible. They're bad. I don't like this piece of equipment at all. I think it's a horrible idea. A double XL engine. Like I would ever use that. This thing has 6 critical slots per torso and gives you an additional 16% off the weight on an engine from the already 50% off an XL engine. Like, this is... No, I'm not going to risk this when I have a chance to get a Shadowhawk. Well, a Gyro XXL is weighs 50%, 4 gyro slots reserved. Oh, you're tempting me now. You've got me tempted. And a prototype double heatsink kit. Why would you do this to me? I have to take them, don't I? I have no choice. Right. I wanted all the Shadowhawk parts, but it's too much. It is too much. I will grab the double XL gyro. I will grab the prototype double heatsink kit. And yes, I will even grab the XXL engine, even though I'm not going to use it. Get back in there. I gave you an order. So, cross your fingers. We've got another 13 parts. Ah, we left one on the table. 1, 2, 3. Oh, we only got 3. We left 2 on the table and 1 disappeared apparently. So we've got 3 of the Shadowhawk parts. I'm hoping really, really hard that I've got the other Shadowcat sitting there. We got an ERPPC. We got a single Thunderbolt missile. Yeah, one-shot Thunderbolt. Internal combustion engine, worthless. Jump jets, worthless. And primitive sensors, worthless. Ah. The kit was good. The random roll was okay, but it could have been better. Oh, if we had gotten all 5 parts of that Shadowcat, I would have been such the happy camper. You have no idea. Because that would have been a brand new mech, and a brand new mech that we haven't ever used before. So, Shadowcats are interesting mechs. I've liked them since MechWarrior 3, purely because one of your lance mates shows up in a Shadowcat, and I think it's the first time you get a Gauss rifle, and I really enjoyed Gauss rifles throughout MechWarrior 3. There is a reason why my first multiplayer build, back when I played in my computer club at school, was an Annihilator with 4 Gauss rifles. Or was it 5? I think it was 4. And we would just go to town with each other, and then everybody else started using them, and it was rather hilarious. And then, you know, it goes into a long in-fault arms race with hopping between Owenses with maximum speed, and ECMs, and LRM mechs, and it was good. Alright, so 4 days and 14,454 in order to fix the rest of the mechs. So, not terrible. Everybody basically took 1 day worth of damage, so we'll be able to get that done in about 2 days, and I need to check... I think I sold my Shadowcat parts, but I need to check just to drill it in. We got a Warhound part, so, but yeah, there's the Neko Kage, as they're calling it. So basically, Kage, Shadow, Neko, Cat, Shadowcat. I'm not sure why they're inverted like that, but hey, we're just gonna go with it. Phoenix Hawk, Enforcer, Sentinel, Jervish, Bushwhacker, Catapult, Nova, Warhound, yeah. I think I had a couple of parts to a Shadowcat, and I got rid of them. Either it's the other campaign, which we get those two confused on occasion. So let's just chill for a couple of days. We have time. Yeah, we have probably enough time for one more battle. So there is a 1 skull that I want to take just for cash. So we're going to sit on that, make sure we check the mech bay. Everybody's good. Everybody's fine. And quick check on the barracks to make sure that everybody's good on that. So there is a battle I want to take. It's a straight up 1 skull battle for lots of cash, which we should be able to earn quite good on. Oh, nice. So we can get +2 health, useless. Sensor reach is pretty good, but I kind of want to make you a warlord sometime soon. So the plus 10% increase to weapon range ought to help the PPCs a little bit, so that'll make it a little bit more dangerous. Jester coming up. You're a little bit tougher. No, I'm going to give you the tactics to make you move even faster, because if the Burner Boy can get started at the very beginning of a round, he can basically shut someone down to make sure that they don't have any actual ability to influence the round, because they're going to have to worry about the overheat. This will be a called shot bonus. This is a evasion, and this is the 10% threshold. Death Crusade, you're currently driving the Javelin. So if I drive you in the Javelin, really all of them work sort of okay. I'm going to go with the evasion. And then Finn is good. So all the pilots are currently leveled up. Let's go check out our contracts. Yeah, we're good on cash for the month, but I just want to give us enough because we do have to travel. And yeah, the garrison duty, I don't want to do a defense base just because they tend to take forever. So we're going to grab Nosy Neighbors. And we're going to do it for all the money. Federated Sons ain't going to like us, but it's working for our actual... all the money. Sorry. It's like, I want all the things. I don't even care about all the things. So how much would it cost me to drop the entire company? Because it is only a 1 skull. So I might even be able to get away with doing it as some. It's only a 1 skull. It's a nosy neighbors. There's going to be a single backup support lance. I mean, it might just be more trouble than it's worth. Oh, I forgot. The UI on this doesn't work out quite so right now because of the extra lance. So just hit escape. It'll bounce you back, no problem. Mockingbird in the hammer, Finn in the Kitsuki, because you have sensor lock, and that puts Coach in the javelin and Death Crusade and Hachi. No, you two should be switched. Yes, yes. Do I want to drop everybody? It's only 1 skull on a Tundra. Yeah, because Burna Boy really, really benefits from having additional people in the lance. Because if he can light somebody on fire, then everybody else can follow it up, or they can increase the effectiveness of that attack. So, we are doing a 1 skull mission. We're doing it for all cash. I hate doing missions for all cash, and that just means that we're going to run into some really cool mechs that we can't get our hands on. We will probably run into an Orion, and we will not roll the Orion as our random part. We will instead get a heatsink. Or jump jets, which appear to be just infesting the company. Oh, so many jump jets. So we're going to have to, I'm going to also off-screen have to go through a little bit of selling and culling the company a little bit. Just getting rid of all the stuff that we don't use, that we're not going to need before we make our next trip. And then we'll be moving on to a brand new planet. And that'll be exciting. That'll be interesting. We'll be able to finally get our hands on a brand new location with new biomes. But nosy neighbors, for weeks now, Deviant forces have been skating territory in the Tortugan-controlled land. Previous surveys of this land showed nothing of interest, yet there they are. Whatever it is they find, we don't want them to have it. Go in there and destroy them. I wasn't certain what accent I was doing on that one. It sort of melded between several at the same time. It just came out as a muddled mess, but hey, we're having a bit of fun with it. So 0 of 1 priority salvage, 704,200 C-bills and a single skull. So jump on top of them, smash them hard, and get on out before anything too bad can happen. And also do our level best to completely and totally obliterate any mech that we don't want. Because if we just completely annihilate a mech, its parts can't clutter up the loot table, and that'll make our lives just a little bit easier. Enough easier that we can actually get a little bit of work done. So that will be the plan moving forward. We just need to set it up properly. And I am going to try something. Just a little bit. Alright, and we're back. So you may have noticed a little bit of a cut in there, just because we had something of a crash, but thankfully the brand new the pause system on OBS has made that easy. So let's drop down to the planet and see if we can get things done. Nothing has changed, nothing is different, it is exactly what we saw before. It's just we had to cut out the loading time a little bit. Alrighty, so let's drop down and see if we can't cause a little bit of pain to the enemy. They will fall before us after a little bit of a hike. The large maps are a lot of fun, but the large maps can also be a bit of a hike. So it makes sense when you're starting to operate with 2 full lances. You can use one as a scout force, one as a fire support group, especially with all the artillery that's been included into the game. When you've got things like long toms and arrow 4 artillery pieces, not just the arrow 4 tags that you need to actually get a reasonably close line of sight on. I'm talking full on, you mounted an arrow 4 to the side of your mech, now enjoy. Well, suddenly having a giant map makes a whole heck of a lot of sense. Now, we do tend to operate on a little bit closer range basis. We have a bit of a preference for getting up close and personal into the enemy's teeth, as it were. However, that does mean that we have to travel a little bit further, which also gets balanced out a little bit because you want to take mechs that are designed to get in close to the enemy and give them really big engines so that they can run super fast, and that is kind of what we're doing. Or at least with the Burna Boy. This sucker is fast as all hell. The big thing that will make the Burna Boy so much better than it currently is will be Clan Flamers. Because Clan Flamers weigh half a ton. And if we can shed 4 tons worth of weight off that mech, think of what else we could put on there. We could put on more flamers for one, and actually that's probably what we will end up doing. We'll probably give it up to 12 flamers. That'll still leave us 2 tons to throw into things like armor, maybe some other support equipment. I'm not quite sure what. A tag. It's already got a tag. Could upgrade the tag to a tagger, so it's got some point-blank range weaponry. Could give it some melee weapons to go in with that. Doesn't really pair out so well. Flamers in vanilla will fire on melee. Flamers in RogueTech will not, except for specific kinds of support flamers. Most of the support weapon categories got removed, and some of the ones that are still in the support weapon category are not supposed to fire in melee, but still do, which is a little bit hilarious to me. because apparently that's something that they've been trying to turn off for a while, but as far as I know, tag has always fired in melee combat just purely by virtue of being, you know, a melee weapon in the support category. So we are starting to surge on forward. The enemy is at a great distance. The Kitsutsuki is actually fairly well designed for a map like this. A Rack 2 has a fairly significant amount of range to it, so it'll be able to aim way far off in the distance. We have line of sight on the enemy. It is a locust fire. You did hit something.
Ooh, that hit something good.
Oh, it blew off his leg. Okay. Not bad. From a sensor blip, he managed to nail it. Oh, that was beautiful. Now, I'm probably not going to get a tag on top of this guy. We're just going to shoot center torsos all around. Missed by 40%, kind of to be expected. I mean, tag has a long range, but it ain't that long. Although the Wolverine might be able to do something. It does, after all, have a UAC 5. 28%, go for the center torso. I don't think we managed to connect on it. As long as we didn't shoot anybody in the back, we'll be perfectly okay with that one, right? Okay, nobody got shot in the back. I was a little bit worried about the Shadehawk getting shot in the back. He needed to duck. So we'll just continue to move on forward. Kitsutsuki doesn't have a line of sight, but we'll hopefully get one in the near future. That has basically crippled that mech, though. A locust that can't run at maximum speed is a locust that's basically dead. So, missed by 63% on the tag. It is going to take us a little while to get there because, jeez, the Shadehawk made one heck of a shot. 40% is not bad. I mean, that's an okay, well, 39, but that's an okay chance to try and throw towards the enemy. But the fact that it managed to rip that leg off, the only better place that it could have hit was the center torso because it would have torn that thing apart. We'll just fire our missiles, long-range missiles. We do also have SAM ones, but he's not a flyer, so it wouldn't help out so much. I got a couple of hits onto him, managing to cause a little bit of havoc all around, and we phase on 14. Looks like he's in the middle of a fire, so he's about to have a worse day than he already is. Yeah, enemy scouting force has made contact with the enemy. And this is kind of the advantage of ultra-long-range maps. There are a lot of weapons in BattleTech, which their sort of saving grace is the fact that they operate from super long range. Things like LRMs, artillery, but really the big one that comes to mind is the AC-2. The AC-2 has a phenomenally long range, but you can't use it in vanilla. It's terrible. We've got an Owens and an Urban Mech. Okay, we'll take care of those soon. He got up. He got up and he moved. And because of that, the weapons become a lot less dangerous than they otherwise should be. So AC-2, okay, AC-2s were never all that good, but still. Ramp that sucker up to a 5 and let it rip. Hey, we got a hit. It took 5 rounds of shooting, but hey, we managed to get a target nailed on that one. The Hachi is not going to be able to get that target, because the Hachi is a very close-range mech. It is designed with short-range missiles in mind. Several of our mechs are, but the Hachi definitely... I don't want to say suffers from that, because, come on, it's not really suffering from it, but it definitely has a little bit of an issue. We do want to get on top of these guys relatively soon before, you know, the fire support group shows up. That'll try and bail them out of the fight. That's a bit of the problem with those neighbors. Sometimes you don't run into it, but I do anticipate a support lance that is going to try and, you know, save them from getting killed. We'll bring the javelin along over here at maximum speed. Can't actually find a line of sight that will, you know, get me... Oh, there. That's the direct line of sight. So we'll zip on over here, say hi. I'm not going to fire the rockets just yet. I would prefer to shoot them at a target that is basically helpless, which he's not quite to that level yet. The Gladiator has a surprisingly long range thanks to the snubs. 25, 28. Shoot that 28, please. It's the Owens. It's the 28. Fire. Did manage to get a hit. Only did 23 damage, but still, the range on those guns, the range on those snubs is really hilariously long. I can jump there. Can I fly? Not as much distance. We'll rush over onto here, and we'll be up in amongst them in the next round. Fire a tag towards the Locust. The Locust has been tagged. So now we can really get to work on him. The Shadehawk should have a fairly easy time in this, hopefully. Finish him. You can do it, 52. And that's another big nailing on him. So he's having a worse day. Is he dead yet? He's got a set of torso with like no health left. So the Wolverine, if you could not jump would make him super inaccurate. If you could happen to finish this guy off, that would be ideal. There we go. Locust has been destroyed. That's 33% of the lance, so apparently there's only 2 more units to actually deal with, so that's great. Yeah, that Locust could have been more annoying, but now just not gonna happen. Fire at the Owens. It is our next target, and it will be the more annoying one at the moment. I don't believe that's an R60L, just based on the range that he fired at. It seemed, yeah, it's a standard R60. He's got an AC-10. AC-10 does a fairly significant amount of damage for his size. I mean, he's a 30-ton mech that's dealing 60 damage. That's really good, actually. But I'm not all that worried about it. I am worried about this Owens just being able to run circles around him. Ooh, I only managed to hit him once. I was about to say we didn't manage to hit him all, but at the very end, he pulled on through. We're going to hop right up here. Hi, I'm in amongst you. 40%, 39.
Now let's see how you handle this.
The Shadehawk just nailing every single shot today. It's beautiful. I mean, he hasn't missed once so far, and I don't think he's fired at a greater than 52% chance once so far. Fire more missiles towards the Owens. He's a light mech. He will be very vulnerable to just taking sufficient amount of damage to eventually die, and that is kind of the point here. We're hoping to just throw enough things at the wall on him to finally break him down. We actually don't have a whole heck of a lot of information on him just yet. We can't see his stability. We can't really see, well, anything, but we're about to. Let's go say hi to see exactly what we've got ourselves into. Oh, it's rocket time, baby. And there goes his XL engine. So we're down to just the urban mech, and I don't think the Gladiator is going to get a line of sight on this one. It's a bit of a... Ooh, barely a line of sight. We'll go take it. Yes, we are shooting through our... No, we're not going to shoot through our allies. Not an 11% chance. Too much opportunity that goes south really quickly. I can, however, run really close to him with the Burner Boy, and he's not particularly evasive. We're just not close enough to him to really have great accuracy. And lots of fire getting thrown his way. Looks like only managed to hit him with maybe 2, so not all that efficient just yet. Sprint. Actually, the hammer, just shoot from here. Just shooting's good. 12%? Why not? It's not like anybody's in the way to actually get in the way of being shot at. So a little bit more damage. 40% damage reduction. You need to jam one of the guns, which is a bit unfortunate. We need to get a slightly better gunnery skill pilot in that mech in order to start mitigating some of those problems. Is the urban mech gonna... Of course you're gonna punch. So I decided to go for the headbutt instead of firing the AC-10, which... Bit of a mistake there, in my opinion. That AC-10 is fairly good. The gun is jammed on the Kitsutsuki, so that just means we're going to come in here for a sensor lock. Let's make sure that everybody can see exactly where this guy is. And we're done. Come on to Coach, who can get the Hachi basically right on target. We're not looking to keep this guy alive at all. Set those Artemises to dead fires. We lose 10%, who cares? We only missed the one, which does appear that it actually did hit the javelin. Bit unfortunate. However, at the end of the day, again, we've got this guy. Lob a little bit of fire his way, and also the medium lasers, not able to connect. But the more fire that we pour onto him, the sooner he will die, and Jester can now probably finish him. Well, maybe not finish him off, after all. He doesn't deal a lot of direct damage. If I'd gone for the back, I probably would have, but I went for the side. And lots of fire. Kind of expecting him to explode. Plus 102 heat. Howl, would you like to do the honors? Let's pick him off. And hopefully we've destroyed basically everything on that mech so that we can get mostly parts from the Owens. Because the Owens was an Omni-mech, and the Owens should have several interesting pieces of technology that we can actually hopefully randomly roll for. So a really quick mission, just in order to get us a little bit of cash. So following a much more interesting mission, in my opinion, where we managed to steal most of a Shadowcat. We're really close to having one. 623,230, no additional bonuses, but that'll put us in a nice comfortable position for travels, so we don't have to worry. And we got an Owens part, so yeah, that's not terrible. He had a narc and a tag launcher, mag shot rifle on somebody. That would have been interesting. So, did manage to get the Owens parts, which was probably the best thing we could have gotten. I'm going to sell it, probably, because we have no real need for an Owens. If there was an Owens model, I would keep it. Because I kind of like the Owens, just I have fond memories of, sprinting around at maximum speed in an Owens with the biggest engine I could get, double heat sinks, and a... well, I think biggest engine, XL engine, double heatsinks, endo steel. Think I could fit the ferrofibrous, and then every single flamer I could cram into that thing, and an electronic countermeasure system. And what you could do with that mech, if you were fighting people who were running annihilators with only Gauss rifles and nothing else, is you can run right up behind them and light them all on fire. And you do that twice, and they die. The mech just melts. So a single day of repairs. So that ought to be nice and easy. Yeah, only the javelin took any damage at all. So that worked out quite nicely. And the only damage the javelin took was because we shot him. The enemy did not stand a chance, and due mostly to that Shadehawk. The fact that I was able to nail every single shot with that Gauss rifle just proved to be brutally effective. But that's going to do it for today's episode. I have been Tarek. If you like what you've been seeing, hit that like button and subscribe. If you want to receive a notification every time I post these videos, press the little bell icon, leave a comment, and make sure that you join us for the stream today at 5 o'clock. That's right, we stream every Wednesday and Saturday at 5 to 7, or a little bit longer should the need arise, playing through our clan campaign, Apollo's Vipers. We'd love to have you there for us, and I will see you all in the next episode.